Shinzo Abe, if you like the anime. All right, hold on really quick. We're going to play a very dangerous game, and I'm going to see if I find any of these anime girl designs to be attractive or appealing. Are they all probably 10 years old? Probably, it's anime. But all these designs are fucking ugly, and I want to see if we can find anything that doesn't look like shit. Ugly, ugly. Don't care. Samey. Where's the real design? I'm waiting. Maybe, I think it shifts between them too quickly for there to be any cohesion to the art style, so that there's no way to learn. Yeah, I think that's what's happening there. There's something wacky up in there. Okay, so these are all blending together, so there's never going to be a clean image of one. Like, this is a merger of multiple different. However, can we agree on one thing, okay? This is very, very important, okay? Are you guys ready for it? The more distinct strands of hair there are on an anime girl, the uglier the design. Good anime hair is bold and expressive and blocky. But when they do this shit, it's so unattractive to me. This is better, but still not great. This is better still, because it's more iconic, it's representative, you know? This is okay. All the lines are sort of segmented into same-shaped, sort of bang collections. That works. Hate this, despise it, hate everything about it. Hate, ooh, hate. Hate, 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 hate. Hate, hate. It's too blurry for me to tell exactly how it lands. This is good. You know why? Because they just fucking make the hair black, and that way the complexity of the hair strands isn't as significant. This looks really nice, actually. This looks really, really nice. Sometimes I feel like sometimes like there's so little cohesion to the designs. Like what are your eyes supposed to look at here? Here it's fine. But like here, like this literally just looks like somebody did a fucking scribbly drawing and then two hyper detailed anime eyes were stamped on them. It just looks like shit. There's no like focal point or whatever into the eyes. The eyes aren't enough. You have to provide proper visual contrast. Like this. This looks really good. The hair is semi-styled and bold and representative, but it's also just black, so it draws your eyes to the red of the pupils. That's really good. Yeah, a lot of these are just, that's good, man. They used to draw hair like this more in like the 90s. Big paintbrush hair. Oh, also, if your lines are too thin like this, it's disgusting. Why the fuck are these lines these thin? This looks like shit. I know that this fucking girl belongs to an anime called like I met my 11-year-old stepsister after my mom died and she has the same gaze as my first girlfriend love or whatever. Like I know this is from a fucking light novel adaptation that's about pedophilia. I can just tell from how bad the art is. At least here the line thickness is better. It's just a bad way to draw bangs. Vaush is joking, but isekai anime with titles like that? No, I'm not joking, because they do have titles like that. Vaush, I don't get what's wrong with thin lines. Oh god, are we getting into it? He says, knowing fully well that he has no self-control and is going to get into it if he wants to. There's nothing inherently wrong with thin lines. The problem... Okay, so this would be an example of thin lines that I think are acceptable. The problem is that... Okay, here we go. The problem... Okay, have you guys ever encountered while looking at art, either amateur or professional, have you ever encountered what is known as the rendering disease? Rendering disease happens when an artist takes great pains to learn how to seamlessly blend different colors to make, beautiful shades transition into one another, but is very tired by line work. So what they'll do is they'll draw the shittiest line work you've ever seen in your life, and then they'll hyper render everything inside of it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't want to have to like I don't want to have to like look up an example. The problem here is that there's a dissonance between the effort put in the rendering and the line work that's like really weird. So leaving aside the fact that the eyes look broken, I mean, this looks like it's from a fucking like Doki Doki Literature Club, like horror freeze frame or whatever. Leaving that aside, leaving aside the incoherence in the line thickness, because you have bolder lines in the recesses of the hair of the bangs than you do in some other parts, which is just kind of strange. Again, this is blurring different images together, so I think they need an example. Can somebody in chat who knows what I'm talking about, like, link an example? At the end of the day, the problem is that there's not enough quality contrast. Yes, KMG51, or KGM, you're completely correct. The problem is that bold visual design needs really good contrast. You need to know where your eyes are supposed to be drawn towards. And you can see at different points in this, like the level of quality on how well it does that. This does an adequate job, I think. The hair frames, the eyes, blah, 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 you know. This right here, this part right here, actually really, really great. Because of the color contrast. The hair contrasts with the eyes, and it does a great job of drawing your eyes in properly. You know, that's good. This shit, as we've talked about, I hate the way they do the hair here, but at least there's enough of a color contrast that it sort of brings it in. This, it's so hard to tell because of the AI imaging. Hold on. This is what you're talking about, right? No, this is fine. Right here. There's no rendering here. This is a two-tone shading. You just have the standard color, and then you have the shade color. This is fine. In fact, I think that for TV animation, this is the, like, premier style for a good reason. It's economical to not have to do three-tone shading or proper image rendering, and you don't have to worry about blends, which means that you can just focus on the line work and practically just, like, color drop. And yeah, Zapsalis, you're completely correct. This color choice is phenomenal. Actually, wait, what is this from? This is actually really good color design. Also, it's not a crazy, horny school outfit. This is actually a really good job. I do happen to like gray and red as a color complement, like, on its own. You have the subtle blue right here that pops. The eyes match perfectly with the outfit. And, what is this from? Oh, Chorus Recoil? Gotcha. Okay, well, this looks really nice. Yeah. Whatever, sorry. A good example of, like, a hard lean into simple stylization to or sometimes even monochrome color portraits would be anything done from Studio Trigger. Studio Trigger, the people who work on the design for the character design for anything they or Gynax have produced, they rely on very simple designs that are meant to be iconic in shape, color, and form, if not so much in detail. The default image of Ryuko is monotone for all of her skin. They don't even shade underneath the top portion of her outfit. And the only two-tone is a couple of, like, sweeps of darker color on the fabric of her bunched up sleeves. And that's just to indicate that they're folded, where you can't put, like, line work. Really good. I mean, but it looks great. Everyone who knows anything about anime knows who this girl is. You know? Like, that's unique. The Monogatari series is very popular, but there are tons of characters in it. I've never seen it. There are tons of characters from that series that if you showed them, a lot of people wouldn't know who they are. Even for people who haven't seen Kill la Kill, everyone knows who the fuck this is. It's fucking Ryuko. Likewise with Satsuki. Look at the design work. There's a reason why they're so popular, you know? Look at that. Monotone. Again, the only shading you see here. You have highlights on the top of the hair. You have the hair in the back shaded, which is essentially mandatory for any kind of long hair to indicate what falls behind the head and what falls to the front of it. And that's it. I mean, remarkable design here. Everyone knows what she looks like. Does anyone in chat know what I'm saying? Is this fine? Are we fine? Okay. I just like really good color. Not just color design, but, like, good design in general. I mean, everyone should like good design, but, you know. It's just really well done. Yep, we don't care. Yeah. Okay, one last example. This is a really nice design. Can I find an example of, like, an overdone design? Fuck, I just I don't have one right off the top of my head. Can I just over-rendered anime girl? Is that like, can I just type that in? No, a lot of these aren't right. It's a particular kind of disease. I wish one of you had gotten me a reference image for that. Asuka? Well, Asuka's classic. Everyone knows what Asuka looks like. Two-tone shading, obviously, as you can see. But they try to make Asuka and, well, all the characters more identifiable through basic shape blocking and color choice than through any, like, hyper rendering of any specific detail. Even if her hair wasn't shaped exactly like this, you know who the fuck she was. Why does Vaush like such crudely drawn shitty art styles? What is wrong with you? While we're looking at fucking Asuka and Satsuki, this is where you're gonna pull out the shitty art styles? On these two? Bait? Yeah, it's probably bait. I gotta be calm. Ooh! Who linked this? Who linked this? Oh, that's hot. Specky V. Perfect example of the disease that I'm referring to. This might be more of a personal preference kind of deal, but this is exactly what the fuck I mean by rendering disease. This is precisely what the fuck I mean. The Toho girl? I don't know what that means. This is exactly what I mean right here. So I like the issue. So I guess there's nothing wrong with like rendering out all your shit or whatever. The problem is that it doesn't work with the line work to like. Hopefully you guys can look at this and kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about, like right off the bat. As in, it's too textured. It's that. You know the rule about character design, how you should be able to identify their silhouette? Are you familiar with that, like, rule of character design? Generally speaking, when you want to make a character recognizable, if you want to have good character design, you want to... Okay, one more example. Okay, we're going to talk about Cerebellum from Skullgirls, really quick. Okay? So, Cerebellum from Skullgirls has a very iconic design that basically everyone loves and no one complains about it. The only people who complain about it are homosexuals who do not like fat titties. But we do not care about their opinions here. That's what she looks like. She wears a hat that has a skull face with two horns, and the hat also has two gigantic arms that hang down to her sides. And she is wearing a dress with upturned shoulders and a sort of disco-ass bell-bottom sleeves, a mini skirt, tights with harlequin pattern that point down into a pointy skull boot, okay? Now, the crazy thing about this design is that you could put me in a car and drive me into a wall, and as you pulled me out of the burning car wreck, as I lay there bleeding out with only a few seconds left to live, you could show this image to me, and even through my blood-soaked eyes, I would be able to say, oh yeah, that's Cerebella from Skullgirls. Everyone could. All of you could. Even you, watching this, who have never played Skullgirls, will remember this design if you see it in the future. Because it's unforgettable. Ryuko Matoi's design, unforgettable. Satsuki's design, unforgettable. Because they adopt basic principles for character design that allow them to remain iconic and noteworthy without finicky details. All the details that make her interesting from a character design perspective are something you could get while gazing, like squinting with your eyes blurred. They're simple. You can recognize her silhouette, her portrait, her profile. You could take a look at a color swatch of her character design and recognize her based on that. It's not even that hard. In fact, if I Google Cerebella Skullgirls color swatch, palette? I'm just getting color switches. Nope, not showing up. All right, doesn't matter. Fuck you. You could identify it through that. Stuff like this is important. It's really, really important. Basically, if you can't who's who that Pokemon a character, you probably have over-designed a character. Yeah, now keep in mind, there are good anime, like, what's the anime about the digital dudes who you see with the glasses? It's like really good, not really wholesome, but kind of like soft, you know? No, not Digimon. It's like a proper anime. Deru Coil, thank you. I'm not saying every character in I'm not saying that every character in any anime ever has to have like the most visually striking design in the universe. Like everyone just looks like a fucking like shoujo warrior or some shit, you know? Um but even in shows that have more like lightweight character designs, there are things that you can do to make characters way more identifiable. Um without relying on finicky details. Denu Coil is a great example right here because Denu Coil has a bunch of characters that all look pretty realistic. Like, you know, nobody here has like blue or red hair or like crazy anime whatever. Like, you know, they're adhering to a fairly realistic designed theme. Um but if you watch this anime, you really have no trouble like telling people apart because the things that make them identifiable are very simple and could even be recognized from a silhouette. They have distinct eye shapes, indicating basic personality traits. Glasses frame some of them. They have even people with similar hairstyles, like these two, like they have basically the same hairstyle, have other distinct traits, and they do it really, really simply. Uh, do you understand what I mean when I say that there's a value in being able to rely on distinct character identification, even without any like wacky hyper rendering or any like super finite detailing or whatever? Does that make any sense? Like, if you wanted to, you could go in with twice the line work and make all these characters more distinct, but they were able to do it with relative ease and simplicity, and that speaks to an elegance in the design that can be exacerbated and built upon, but not relied upon. What about MHA characters? This is... Is this from porn? Is this official art? I'm pretty sure this is from porn because those tits are pretty fucking big. Why are you linking me fucking the porn versions? Boogie Pop non-spoiler character sheet. Damn, look at all those characters. Those designs look pretty good. Designs look pretty good though. That's official? God damn. I like the bunny girl though. Madoka Magica? Okay, literal last one. I'm so sorry, guys. I know. Madoka Magica, there's some good stuff going for it. It's highly overrated. Sorry. Uh, character designs aren't that great. As a general rule, I don't care whether or not you're doing like a magical girl satire subversion whatever thing. If all your people have to be distinguished by their hair color, I'm sorry, that's always a warning sign for me. I don't even watch anime where there are like multiple distinct hair colors on the main girls on the front cover of the fucking light novel adaptation. There's no point. It's a waste of time right off the bat. Now, again, in this case, they're all meant to be like magical girl, yeah, blah blah blah. So like, there's kind of a compelling explanation or whatever. There are still parts of the design that I just don't like that much. Actually, okay, now that I'm looking at it, it's not as bad as I remember. I think I mostly remember like the art, the official art of Madoka that's outside the anime, which is atrocious, like fucking despicably bad, because this is official art. But the in-anime designs are better. Atrocious in anime. Yeah, no, okay, all right, okay, okay. It's not so bad. Yeah. This is terrible. Fucking get it off my screen. That's enough! I've been trying to do Okay Buddy Vaush, but you guys keep distracting me. No more. Oh wait, I have more links to look at. I'm not looking at Arcane. Arcane is a painterly style. It's kind of distinct from what I'm referring to. But yes, Arcane is phenomenal character design. Ha! It worked! I think we saw it last time, Movie Blocks. I think I remember that link. Also, it was purple to me. Do you like I Know? What is this from? This is from Guilty Gear. Okay, guys, general rule. If a character is from Guilty Gear, it has top tier character design. Guilty Gear is literally like near the apex of character design. I don't actually know if I'm not aware of any property that has more consistently good character design than Guilty Gear. I genuinely do not know if anything reaches that pinnacle. It is insane how good it is. Can you guys see why? So first of all, the line work and the rendering style balance each other perfectly here. You have very big distinctive blocks. Obviously, the guitar, the swoop of the jacket, and the hat are like these big attention-grabbing visual elements that like draw you in. Um, which is great. You also have a great level of detail all over the image, but there's a good visual balance. Can you feel, is this not a pleasing image to look at? Listen to your intuition for a moment, because that's what we're trying to satisfy when we draw, you know. We're trying to satisfy a sort of underlying sense of aesthetic appreciation. This is a pleasing image to look at. It's well balanced. It has good color balancing. It's tritonal. You have the teal of the guitar and the inside of the jacket. You have the red of the hat, the jacket, the leggings, and coat. And then you have the flesh tones. There's also teal. Oh, I didn't even notice it at first. The teal of the glasses tint. Beautiful work. Beautiful color balance. Oh, God. It works so well. There's even a literal lateral color balance there, because that way you don't have all the teal blocked down the bottom. There's even a hint of teal in the underside of the front flaps of the jacket here, which does, see, can you feel it? It balances the image. You have what is this, 4-tone shading, or is it tritone? I think this is just tritone shading. It's just oh my God, they're so good, guys. This glove piece isn't black. It's teal. It's just a darker teal. Her hair is a darker teal. The inside of her hat is teal tinted. It's fucking genius. I'm not joking. Stuff like this visually balances the image. I could stare at this all day. It's great to look at. I love the art of this image. There's so much thought put into it. Fantastic. You guys get what I'm talking about, right? Her hair is black, is just weird lighting. Well, it's a drawing. The lighting turns the hair to teal. I mean, her hair color might be black, but what matters is its representation in the image. They made that choice for a reason. Oh, sorry, what was I saying? Oh, I also appreciate the fact that they've maintained a deliberate sketchiness. You obviously have a huge degree of refinement to the art here. I mean, everything here was planned, drawn, and redrawn. But you also have stuff like this. See these 3 lines right here that are meant to denote, like, the upper of the titty, right? These don't have to be here, but they signal something to you with their presence. You can see it right here at the collarbone, too. See how this line cuts into that one? See how this one skitters off to the end? There's a very refined lack of refinement, a deliberate, almost anarchic rejection of clean line work that accentuates not only the bold and vibrant and expressive color palette, but also the character design itself. The roughness of the line work obviously is meant to translate into the roughness of the character. I mean, look at her. She's clearly rough and rowdy. You see? You can even see a lightning bolt running down the highlight of the leather of her boot. Everything about this conveys action. Have you seen a more action-packed image of a woman standing still while holding a guitar? I can't tell if he's trolling or not. You guys know that I can draw, right? I'm not joking. Can't draw this well, of course, but not a troll. Everything that I'm saying is true. You could talk to an artist or an art professor or whatever. This level of thought is put into character designs. I mean, that's why some character designs look dope as shit. There's a reason for it. People put a lot of thought. It's literally an art, you know? How's your manga coming along? Don't worry about it. How's Bridget? Well, this is 3D. If you link the 2D image of Bridget, I can, you know. No, fuck it. No. You know what? No. Last one, I say, forgetting about the war crimes. We're looking at Bridget. Okay. Oh, whoops. Do you remember all of the art stuff that I just talked about in this image? Now take a look at this one. Is it pleasing to look at? Yes. Is it visually appealing? Obviously. But how is it visually appealing? Well, in terms of the color balancing, it's pretty obvious. her jacket is blue and white. Her shoes are blue and white. Exact same colors. You see that? See the yellow? You have a yellow metal clasp. You have a yellow medical sign on the edges of the underside of the jacket. And oh, what's that? You have a yellow stripe right here. Deliberate. You have brown down here in the bottom right of the image. And then you have this up here. Now, this is more of a red, but red and brown are very close on the color spectrum. And in my opinion, I think it effectively weights the image in both directions when it comes to the accented color. Not to mention the fact that the bear has orange eyes and a red heart here at its center, which, further complement this up here. There's actually a lot of brown all around the image. Obviously skin tone is always going to be some subset of a shade of brown, but the inside of the jacket is a darker yellow, and a darker muddied yellow is brown. So there's a kind of subtle accentuation. The fact that that block of brownish tone is placed up here at the exact fucking opposite position, the diameter opposite of where the bear is kept, is not an accident. Or the fact that the lighter tones from the teddy bear are tonally reflected in the yellow on the other ends of the image. Phenomenal stuff. But take a look at the actual weight of the image. Now, I hope somebody in chat is appreciating this. There's more to it, of course. If you take a look at anything in this image that's not one of the primary, colors, which is yellow and blue, you'll find they actually are. Do you see the color of this giant handcuff that she wears around her waist? It's blue-toned, isn't it? Yes, it is. Even if you look right here at the chest band, it's probably hard to see, no matter how you're watching this. This is brown. This is a very dark yellow. I don't know if it's light or the original color of the image, but this is absolutely brown tinted. Do you think the white of this shirt is actually white? Because it looks like it's got a bit of a tint to me. That looks like pure white on the sleeves. This is tan, which means you have this really nice kind of through line, like the flesh tone to the cream to the hair, which is yellow, and the skin. And then you have the opposite, the perpendicular line, where you have two blocks of brown tones, one of them in the bear and then one of them in the underside of the jacket. I know this sounds really finicky and stupid, but I promise you that people spend years trying to understand this kind of color theory. I don't understand color theory. All my work is black and white. I draw with ink. But stuff like this takes a tremendous amount of thought, to work out. If you want to see what I'm talking about, you can find much, a demonstration of less forethought, in my opinion, put into the older design for Bridget. Now, this is just a low resolution image here, and I'm not trying to bully or nothing, but I hope you can understand by looking at this, and I'm only talking color theory. The refinement placed in the color theory here is leagues above the older art. This looks like an amateur's drawing next to this. Now, you can talk about the line work, the posing, the proportions, the anatomy. There's lots you can say here, but just looking at the color. See how in this one, the handcuff around her waist is just a solid metal gray? See how you have yellow tones everywhere, which is good, works with the hair and everything, but you don't have anything accentuating the brown of the teddy bear. The yellow was never downshifted or tinted to the point that it actually reflects the brown. The closest you get is the red, the burgundy of the yo-yo, but then it's all centered in the top left of the image. Where is your eye meant to follow when you look at this? Start at the yo-yo, then move down? Face, teddy bear? It's kind of like a triangle concentrated up here. But how much time have you spent looking down at the bottom right of this image? I'm willing to bet until I pointed it out, not very much. You probably spent almost all your time up here because all of the interesting stuff, yo-yo, face, teddy bear, are happening in the top left. Here, however, God, what a breath of fresh air. Oh, look at the balance. Not just in emphasis or color, but man, every part of this image is interesting to look at. All of it. There's motion, there's weight. it suits itself. So good. I love the fact that in her eyes you have a blue-green tone, which makes them distinctive against all the blue here. In this image, they make her eyes kind of like psycho crazy dots behind the teal shifted glasses, which is clearly deliberate and looks, great. Oh my god! The metal of this belt buckle! Is that... Oh, the subtle teal tinting. Oh, I can see it. That's no regular gray, is it? No, it's not. There's at least 1 point on the RBG scale of teal there, isn't there? Yes, there is. I can see it. And you can too, can't you? Oh, is that a fucking blue tone on the metal in the inside of the yo-yo? Is it exactly the same color profile as the blue gloves that she's wearing? Which, when you look at the highlight from, is basically the same blue highlight used on the off-white band of the hoodie she's wearing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Alright. It even has a watermark. Okay, but do you get what I'm talking about, though? I'm not clicking on it. I swear to God, I'm not doing that again. Consider this the one true Stunlock of the OK Buddy Vaush segment, which I'm unapologetic for, by the way, because it's something that I'm passionate about. Guilty Gear has stellar character design, and it deserves to be recognized for that fact. Vaush is trolling, but these are actually facts. I'm not trolling! But yeah, if you ever are interested into getting into basic color theory, and all I know about is basic color theory, by the way, always keep that in mind. This is what, have you ever noticed that sometimes artists, especially furry artists, will, alongside their original characters, do little splotches of the primary color tones associated with that character? Like primary tone this, secondary tone this, tertiary tone that. Have you noticed that being done by artists? Yeah, the reason for that is because you create a kind of through line that makes the image more pleasant and comprehensible. That's the reason why, and I mean, art's like that, man. Why is this image less appealing than this image? Well, there's a trillion reasons, and some of them require college degrees. Well, they don't require college degrees, but, some of them have college degrees named after the things that you learn. Again, I can't do this. I can only point it out when other people do it. Oh, I'm so sorry. The actual reason that I wanted to bring up Bridget here was one other thing on the line work specifically. Another thing that I think is noteworthy is that the line work for this character is rougher than the line work for Bridget, and the reason for that is because this character is meant to be rougher. Obviously, this is like some kind of punk rock and roll, But if you look at the line work, there are lots of little details that sort of take away from the smoothness in a good way. The knuckles are defined distinctly here. You have these lines on the collarbone and the neck and above the breast. You have this line under the bicep, this and this one for the stomach muscles. This one right here denoting, I don't even know what this one is meant to denote, actually. And all that crap. Now look at... Huh? Oh, I zoomed in really far there, sorry. Look at Bridget. You see much in the way of scratchy, errant line work on the face? Pretty smooth, huh? All of the rougher line work etching is on the clothing that she's wearing. Not so with her. Very subtle changes, incredibly subtle changes to how you use line work can go a long way towards conveying character. Doesn't take long looking at this character to understand that she's a big old softie, right? But here, I actually kind of get psycho nun murder vibes. That's the vibe I get from this, like playful kill you type of deal, but it's kind of ambiguous. No ambiguity here. No ambiguity here. I know is a rock star that travels through time. That's cool as hell. Are we finally done? You people have no taste. No taste whatsoever.